I wanted to share some of the FMOD editor scripts I made for Men in Black Most Wanted, because I haven't seen a lot of people talk about FMOD editor scripting online, and it can be pretty powerful. So just wanted to share some of the stuff I made, and just to, if that can inspire any people. I made a validation script and occlusion script, coloring script, and a script for comparing VO file names with their IDs from a sheet. So I'll just go through them and demonstrate. You can just skip if you're interested in something specific. So the first one is a validation script, which does a few things. It's inspired by Jeppe Lindgaard, who showed me. He did something like this. I just built a bit upon it. Basically what it does is that whenever you build new bank from FMOD, it looks at the routing, naming some stuff. So I'll just demonstrate that. So first off, if we just make a new event, test event, and we just assign it to the master bank, then it will check if this event is routed straight into the master bus, which we don't want because we want things organized better. Like we have, I won't go through all of this. So let me just demonstrate that. So if we now build our banks, so it says, warning, some events are routed directly into master test event. So I can go find that event and fix it. It also checks for event names, if they have spaces in them, which we don't want. We had some issues with that. I can't even remember what. So if we say, now we just, we'll move this so it's not into the master, but it has a space. So if we build our banks again, then you can see it gives me a warning. Some event names contain spaces. Test event. Let's fix that. The same goes for parameters. So if we just make a new parameter has space, because we also don't want spaces in parameter names for various reasons. So now I made a new parameter, and the script checks if it only checks the parameters that are actually used in events, but now this parameter is used in our test event. So if I build again, it should show me an error about that. And it did. So some parameter names contain spaces. Parameter has spaces, so I can go fix that. So let's just remove this. So that's one script. Another script I did was for our occlusion system, which is quite bespoke. So I won't go into depth about that in this video. But if I make a new event that is using our occlusion system, using this template event, and then FMOD froze. Okay, here we go. So let's just call this occlusion test. You can see it has this user property called use occlusion. User properties are like variables stored inside FMOD. Also, I won't go into details about that, but just basically using our occlusion chain here. And Unity, it looks at all the events and it checks if they have this use occlusion user property, and if they do, it does all the raycasting and all the other things. But whenever we build banks, FMOD runs through the events in the bank, and it checks if the master track of the event has anything that's automated by this occlusion parameter here. So you can see I'm automating the cutoff here by occlusion parameter. Then do the raycasting. Then if we say, okay, we don't want occlusion for this event, actually, we remove the occlusion chain. And that could have been something we did on a lot of events. then I can run this update use occlusion property manual. It can also happen automatically when you build the banks, but I'll just do it manually now. Then FMOD runs through all events that are assigned to a bank and checks if they need the use occlusion property. So it says one event had the use occlusion property removed. So you can see now it's gone here. If we then again insert effect, so we insert the occlusion chain here. It should have the property, and we can run the script. And then it adds it again. So that was just helpful for us. Basically, the script checks for anything automated by occlusion on the master track. A third script I made was for coloring events, because FMOD doesn't do that automatically like Wise does, which I find a bit annoying. So if we have a bunch of events here, just empty events for testing, and the parent folder has a magenta color, then I can like run this color children script, and it colors all the children. That's also one that ignores if some events already have custom colors assigned, or I think also folders. We can give that a try. I think that's how Wise behaves. So color uncolored children. So that colored those, and there was apparently I need to update that script because it didn't loop through the subfolder, so I'll just have to do that again. Okay, that needs a small fix. The last script I made was something very custom for our VO setup, which I really won't recommend anyone putting VO inside one event per line. But we had that for various reasons. And it works in the game, so it's not like that big of an issue, just hard to manage. But we had some issues where all these event names are automatically made from the file names from the VO. But we had some issues where sometimes they wouldn't match with the VO keys, the game where it was like reading from a spreadsheet. So I made this script that would check the name. So let's just change one of these names. So now it doesn't match the VO key from this sheet that Unity is using. So I have this script we can run on the folder here. It is called compare event names in folder with log sheet keys. And it is using a text file that is just pointing FMOD towards a script in Unity that has all the keys. So now it's running, and it tells me fix this event because it doesn't match any of the keys inside the spreadsheet for the game. Sweet. Fix this. Run it again. And it works. So those are the scripts I made for Men in Black. Really curious to see if anyone else made some funky FMOD scripts, because we don't have a lot of resources online for this kind of stuff, so it could be nice with a bit more sharing.